entrepreneurship path is slightly different than what you live in the corporate, and that makes people to be busy and happy. And that's where the reason that you're not able to find it. Definitely, yeah.
Happy being an entrepreneur?
Yes. Yeah, I have an experience working on different corporates like GE, Honeywell, Cummins, and mostly all is multinational company. A lot of learnings I have with these companies. Like they have a well-established process. They are pretty good in innovation. They are pretty good in product development. So while working with these companies, I just figured it out that when we interact with a lot of suppliers, tier 2, tier 3 suppliers, which is across, I would say, India or globally also, I figured it out that they don't have the much on the engineering execution side. Corporate life is like you go for an office, work for 5 days, especially on the multinational companies, and that's how my routine was. That work for 5 days, 2 days will be the leave will be there, and then basically happily enjoy that 2 days of the leave. Finance problem, legal problem, okay, the people problem, all the problems you try to solve it, and that's where basically like entrepreneurship comes out. And I like solving the problem.
Hi, Rajdeep.
Hey,
How are you?
I'm fine.
Okay, this is for our viewers. Welcome to yet another episode of Swaraj Silicon. And Swaraj Silicon is an initiative started by Violin Semiconductor Technologies, wherein we bring all the innovators and entrepreneurs and leaders, technologists from semiconductor, AI, deep tech industry. And today we have a very special guest, Rajdeep, who is the founder of DTechnosol, and he is an alumni from IIT Bombay, and he has served for Cummins, Honeywell, and other industries. Even you were a CTO at some startup. So can you briefly, before that, what is keeping you so busy? We were unable to get your time.
Busy in the sense, like, as you know, that entrepreneurship path is slightly different than what you live in the corporate, and that makes people to be busy and happy. And that's where the reason that you're not able to find it. Definitely, yeah.
Happy being an entrepreneur?
Yes.
Can you talk about what is the DFMEA stands for?
So DFMEA Technosol Private Limited, that's my company where I am the co-founder and CEO. So DFMEA stands nothing but it's a design, failure, mode, effect and analysis. That it's basically, it's a brain of any product development.
Relation it has got with reliability, because you have spent decades of over 17 years of experience on reliability engineering. I want to understand how do you abbreviate DFMEA and what relationship it has got with reliability?
Okay, so I think it's not have a relation much with the reliability. Okay, why does DFMEA Technosol has evolved? I'll just give a brief on that. As you said, like over more than 2 decades. Okay, I have an experience working on different corporates like GE, Honeywell, Cummins, and mostly all is multinational company. A lot of learnings I have with these companies. Like they have a well-established process. They are pretty good in innovation. They are pretty good in product development. So while working with these companies, I just figured it out that when we interact with a lot of suppliers, tier 2, tier 3 suppliers, which is across, I would say, India or globally also, I figured it out that so they lack on the engineering execution side. They develop the product, but when it comes to product development, they don't have that kind of a skill set. Okay, they always rely on something global expertise, especially like if you look at a lot of tier 2, tier 3 companies, which is in India, they develop the product, but when it comes to fail, when it comes to a proper deep understanding, they really don't have a good understanding. So as what I learned, okay, with this corporate is that DFMEA is nothing but it's basically a brain or heart of the any product. Any product development starts with creating the DFMEA, design failure mode analysis, and then basically any kind of a validation, testing, simulations comes in the picture through the route here. So it's a start of any product development here. And with this gap I had seen, which is in the market, and that is one of the reason that I thought like, okay, DFMEA stands for. Now coming to your question that, okay, reliability, like, okay, how it's related to the reliability, definitely when the DFMEA comes out, we do a lot of like design validation in terms of the simulation, in terms of the testing, and that's where basically this DFMEA comes. So we recently working with one of the semiconductor company, which is ABB, electrical semiconductor, you can say. We are working, helping them for designing the DFMEA. The product is already in the market here, but some of the time the products are failing. They don't have the robust DFMEA process. So my team is helping them to develop the robust DFMEA.
Talk about your entrepreneurship journey. Why did you take a leap? You were already doing good in the corporate, serving for Cummins or Honeywell, having a lavish job. Why did you think about entrepreneurship?
Okay, so answer to this. Okay, just this is a very often question. Being as an entrepreneur, okay, because they started this journey 3 years before, everybody asks this question. It's not the first one you've been asking. Wherever I met with my corporate friends or maybe my neighbor, they start asking the question that, okay, because the corporate life is completely different. Corporate life is like you go for an office, work for 5 days, especially on the multinational companies, and that's how my routine was that. Work for 5 days, 2 days will be the leave will be there, and then basically happily enjoy that 2 days of the leave. Moving to an entrepreneur, it's quite different. So for me, like to choose an entrepreneur is that I really wanted to do something different, which is to be meaningful. Meaningful in the sense, as I said, like, okay, I identified a real problem, which is which is there in the industry. Okay, there in the current industry, and really the tier 2, tier 3 industries are facing this kind of an issue, and somebody has to come forward and try to solve this kind of an issue. It's a big step for me, definitely, and that's why this step I had taken it out, and I always feel challenging and motivated, okay, with solving the new problem with the new customer. And as I said, like, okay, it's not only the solving and helping the companies for the new product development. I have an idea to develop my own product here, okay, and that's where like we've been worked initially on the first product, which is nothing but a micro gas turbine, and where we wanted to replace. If you see, you might have come with your own car, right? Diesel car or maybe a petrol car. You see an internal combustion engine there in the idea. So my intention was that to replace that internal combustion engine with a micro gas turbine. The reason why is that internal combustion engine, we will have the multiple cam, shaft, very moving part. Okay, the multiple parts were moving it out, wear and tear, lot of maintenance needed. But this micro gas turbine, it has a single shaft. It will deliver power. Okay, but only thing is that it's less efficient. We've been working on it, and that particular technology, it's not a new technology. It's been using in the aerospace, it's been using in the power generation, but that technology with a smaller scale, we wanted to introduce something on the passenger or maybe an automobile segment. And that's where was our first hint. The second thing is that after that we just stopped it because it's a deep tech, required huge amount of funding, and that's where we parked. But still few companies are carry forward and taking that idea and working on it here afterwards here. Second one, which is pretty good because I wanted to also understand, because during the corporate, okay, so there's a big difference in the corporate and entrepreneurship. Yeah.
Sure.
Corporate, basically you try to solve engineering problem.
Yeah. Corporate, they try to solve
engineering problem. And some politics, yeah, don't get laughed. Yeah, so politics is also there. But as an entrepreneur, you have to solve everything. Okay. So you need to basically make sure that finance problem, legal problem, okay, the people problem, all the problems you try to solve it. And that's where basically entrepreneurship comes out. And I like solving the problem. I'm not a guy even I worked almost like 17 years close to in different companies. I've been in different multiple roles here. I never been worked on one product, where one product and one, I would say, department where I will be continuously focused. I try to keep on changing because in a 6 month I start feeling that, I know everything, most of the things here. But many people I had seen, the kind of a behavior, they work continuously for 15, 20 years on the same company, and they like it, doing that job. It's similar to somebody, a bank cashier, if you look at the bank cashier job, I'm not saying that, it's a bad job or something, but they continue from the start of the job till their retirement, but they are also very happy, they find some motivation on other thing, but job-wise also they figure it out. But I was a kind of a person who wants to work something, multiple things, new thing, and that is, and something is that want to do something for an aging society also, using some sort of an engineering principle, and that's where my entrepreneurship journey started.
So micro gas turbine solution, you filed a patent?
No, for that not, but we filed the patent for another product, which is nothing but MediSmart Cool. The product name is MediSmart Cool. So I never disclosed anybody. So this is the first time in any forum
I paid you to discuss.
Discussing. And so if you look at the problem is millions of patients. They need medicines. Which medicines, insulins, biologics, which needs to store at a temperature of 2 to 8 degrees centigrade. During the travel, they don't have a solution. They have a solution which is a passive solution. They use the ice packs, gel packs, keep it at refrigerator, and then hold that insulin or biologics and carry it for a longer period of time. There is a high chance that this insulins and biologics get ineffective, or maybe I would say it's get harm for if they use it afterwards. And because since they use the gel packs and all, they won't able to monitor. When I say don't able to monitor, they won't able to monitor that what temperature is there, when you carry it for a longer period of time. I will give you one real example of one of my friend. He is a diabetic patient. Daily he used to take almost 2 insulin. He was on travel, and then somewhere he kept that insulin in the ice pack, and he didn't recognize that the temperature has gone up for a longer period of time. And then as I would say he is a type 1 diabetic, means he has to take compulsory that particularly the insulin, because the insulin body won't produce the insulin. He taken the insulin assuming that it will work out. He was in a situation that he wasn't able to walk to the door sitting on the house. He was scrolling. He called his friend, and then friend took him to a hospital. Somehow doctor saved his life. That is not a single situation. There are multiple events happen when the vaccination get spoiled up. So keeping this insulin at a home environment or a health, I would say the hospital environment is pretty good. But somebody is traveling. Let's take an example. If you're traveling for a 2-3 days period of time, how did you make sure that your insulin biologics are cool? Cool. And the device what we are making is nothing but it's an active cooling device. So you don't need to worry. It automatically cools it out. Maintain a temperature of 2 to 8 degrees centigrade. You can keep the insulin for as much period of time, and temperature also. So there is a Bluetooth device. We kept it on our PCB, because it's our own PCB design. It's our own design. We had a file patented also for that. And in the PCB, so the Bluetooth module, you will get in the mobile dashboard that what is the temperature. You can easily able to track the temperature. If suppose the temperature reaches to somewhere around 7 degrees centigrade, start triggering you the alarm so that you can basically put it on the adapter and start charging that device. And that's where it's basically you can see this. We're planning to launch in 3 different sizes. Because the design
is pretty huge, right? So somebody will be carrying in the suitcase.
Yes, it's a bag. No, this, you saw the thermos bottle of 500 grams earlier. Yeah. Same. You don't need to carry as many. Only one you need to carry, and that can solve your.
Okay.
Yeah. So if somebody is like going for a vaccination if you don't want to carry maybe a fridge and all, like then they can carry multiple like healthcare providers. Okay, goes for outside for vaccination.
So you want to tie up with all the medical hospitals, or do you want to do B2C? What is the thought?
So the product B2C is not initially when my plan is to launch within the 6 months that particular product in the market. By that time, we will complete TRL level 5 testing. Because TRL level 4 testing, it means that we had validated our product in the lab environment, inside the lab. Through the simulation, like we did the shock test, vibration test, thermal test with a different ambient on software here, and also with an actual testing also, a couple of testing, where we can mitigate the failure. So we do have the result for that. So now, if you look at that particularly product, we, as I said, like it's a D2C or D2D or D2B. So mostly we will go with D2B and then D2B. Okay, like we will give it to healthcare distributors, hospitals. And then also parallelly after response, we wanted to launch the D2C because we already built our website, and we are planning to keep it on some e-commerce site, which don't take up much margin. Otherwise, the product cost will be very high. So that's where our calculations we need to do when it directly needs to be D2C. So, see, unit economics is something where I'm more passionate from the day one. Even, as I said, the product or services, like till now we are bootstrapped. We did not went for any kind of funding. Hopefully, like we don't want to go with run chase behind the investors at this moment of time. Till now, when we start selling, getting traction. Otherwise, like I'll be updating for the funding. But that we don't want. The fuel is coming from the service business where the money is coming. I'm just putting on my product. Okay, and that's how it goes. Slow but good.
Yeah, good. Otherwise, you need to have economic sense. Otherwise, entrepreneurship becomes like a expensive hobby, right?
See, as an entrepreneur, you need to make sure that you need to know economics. You need to know everything. I will tell you, as an entrepreneur, if the client is coming, if the room is dirty, you have to take and make sure that the room is clean.
Yeah.
Okay, so incident happened, employee left out in the meeting room, the tea is spilled on the table. Now tomorrow morning when your client is going to come at maybe 11 o'clock, he called that, okay, no, I have only a time at 8 o'clock to come. Would you be able to come? You come to the office at 7:45 and see that the tea is spilled on the table, what you will do? Can you wait for a maid to come and clean it, or you just go and wipe it out? You have to go and wipe it out. Yeah. Same thing happened with that. So any project, you can't say it's not my job. Client is tomorrow to review it. If somebody is not doing, you have to do it.
Okay, and then how big is your team?
It's not pretty big. It's like direct employee and indirect employee. So we do have the direct employee and we do have the indirect employee. So indirect employee, we also sending employee as a staff augmentation. That number is pretty big. Augmentation in the sense we had tied up with Cummins. So there are skilled people like CFD, FEA engineers, and design engineers, mechatronics engineers. They need it. So what we do, we picked it out from training institute. We make sure that these guys are well trained, and so that they can send it here. That numbers is pretty big number, which we are sending it to. But they are not sitting and working on the services part because they are working on the job because we also provide the resource to them, as I said. Our team is something around 8 to 10 people. We are here, which is in Bangalore, sitting and working over. Mostly if you see in the office, you also know as an entrepreneur that a few people 5 or 6 always with this strength. A lot of people go to home and work from there. So we are pretty flexible.
And how how much team members, how many team members per meeting?
Not dedicated, yeah.
Okay, it's like
Yeah.
extra, whatever
It's not
you got
dedicated. Like as I said, from my I would say from the family itself. Like I'm a Mahajan. Okay. Devangans means Mahajans. So we are pretty good, and Sindhis. We cannot compare with Sindhis. Yeah. Sindhis are pretty good, but
good with the business.
good with the business, and we are also in the business. Yeah. As a competition, you would say, but we make sure that somebody, like, if the traction is more on the services, employees, I cannot keep it more. Yeah. I cannot keep it ideal because I don't want somebody I can pay less. Yeah. Because as a leader, the important thing, Poonam, is very important that your team is motivated. Big thing. It's a big word. As a leader, very important. And when you are a startup, you need to make sure that your team is motivated. It's not applicable only for a startup. It's applicable for a corporate. But the medicines will be different. So when I say medicines will be different, like how the team will motivate. I'll give you one. I'm just taking more time on this.
No, that's checking that.
So understand everybody that as a leader, the team is motivated. I remember a START principle because I was a trainer for a leader also. Sometime back when I was in corporate. So there is a START principle, we call it as and the motivation comes out, and you also want the employee has to give a respect and trust you. Then only you start believing on the employee. Numbers are not big. Like you saw the Pandavas and Kauravas was 100 and then Pandavas only 5 years. They just destroy. If you have a 5 good employee, they're able to more than enough. Okay. So, and that's where I said the employees has to motivate and employee has to trust and respect you. And it's not very easy to come up trust and respect. If they start trust and respect, they definitely will be a motivator. It's always interlinked each other. How an employee trust to a leader here? So the most important is that in my every leader has their own logics here. Okay. So as a leader, somebody has to support an employee. Okay. He has to be truth. Support truth. So whenever an employee comes out here, as an entrepreneur, you cannot say, okay, I did not.